and it's budget time. You can't not do with a conversation around Capex, railways, rail systems, and more. And there are other reasons, of course, to talk to Titagarh Rail Systems always. They've signed a deal with ABB for a driverless metro project as well. Before we get in, Umesh Chowdhary of Titagarh Rail Systems to discuss what's next in store for the company and the budget expectations. Let's first get in Varsha to set this conversation up for us. Varsha.
Well, let me start with the deal agreement with ABB that Titagarh has signed. They've signed agreement with ABB India for driverless metro projects, which builds in strategic alliance announced in November 2023. And ABB will support design, manufacture, and do commissioning, and also transfer of technology for TCMS for 25 AC metros. Now, talking about the strategic importance of this deal for Titagarh, this completes their TCMS portfolio and this enables backward integration across the metro value chain and positions Titagarh as a comprehensive rolling stock manufacturer. On to the second reason why Titagarh is in focus is, of course, the key budget expectations. The expectations are centered on higher Capex, faster execution, and deeper private sector participation. And the incremental budget allocation is after 3 years of muted growth. The spending mix is likely to shift towards capacity augmentation, and the project announcements which are key to watch is additional dedicated freight corridor with long gestation timelines and high-speed rail corridor expectations, and of course continued rollout and scaling up of Vande Bharat trains. So these are two reasons why Titagarh is in focus as of today.
I'm going to start with focus number one. Thank you for that, Varsha. Umesh Chowdhary, Vice Chairman and MD of Titagarh Rail Systems, is speaking with us. And of course, we will be having that budget conversation as well, Umesh. But first, let me begin with this agreement with ABB India for a driverless metro project. It sounds very exciting. What is it about? What's the size of the project? What are the details you can share?
Yeah, good morning. It is a very interesting project for us because you see what we did since the time we entered into this segment of metro coaches, we've tried to ensure that we capture the entire value chain. And when we started making the first aluminium metro for Pune, we were primarily doing the assembly. Then we went into the stainless steel with Bangalore. The one that we are doing with Gujarat, there we took over the TCMS for a 750 volt DC metro coach, but we did not have the transfer of technology or transfer of manufacturing for the traction motor and the propulsion system or the traction converters. This one, in turn, we have been able to take another big step forward to get some of these key components partially to be transferred to our manufacturing facilities in Calcutta, and also get the complete transfer of technology and know-how for the 25 kVA AC TCMS, which is like the brain and the nervous system of the train as such. So basically, block by block, what we are trying to ensure is that we have a complete hold over the value chain of both the type of metro systems that operate in India, which is the 750 volt DC and the 25 kVA AC.
Well, what does this do for the company in terms of your position, Mr. Chowdhary, once you have this transfer of technology, and what is the Capex or the outlay that you have to make?
So we already have invested in the facilities. So we already have our traction motor and traction converter production facility, what we already also gave out in our press release. And what we will be doing is we will be adding on, we are doing the traction motor for locomotives and for EMUs. We'll be adding on to the product portfolio by doing the traction motors eventually for the metro coaches, which is a higher end of the technology or higher end of the spectrum. So it effectively what it does, it completes our product portfolio. And as I said, it kind of gets us a strong hold on the entire value chain of the metro business.
Mr. Chowdhary, good morning. Alex here. And we're just a couple of days away now. We're counting the hours from the presentation of the budget, and of course, some of us are old enough to have seen a rail budget presented separately. If that's piled into the same one, and there's no complaining about that.
Fairly recently, Alex, you're definitely old enough.
We watched quite a few of the rail budgets. But having said that, there's a lot of expectations, Mr. Chowdhary, heading into this next budget, and stocks have reacted not just in the railways pack, but also in the defence pack. And these are two areas that the government is expected to focus on. What are your own expectations, and what are you building in towards?
See, as far as our expectations out of the budget is nothing different from what we have been expecting and what we have actually been seeing in the last few years. Capex has been a focus of the government. Infrastructure has been a focus of the government. And we believe that this is likely to continue because the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister is extremely clear about, on one hand, making India into a developed country, Viksit Bharat of 2047, and on the other hand, to continue to support the Make in India and the Atmanirbhar Bharat policy. So basically, if you dovetail the two of them together, what it does is that on one side, there is the market opportunity, and the other side, Indian companies like ourselves have a great foothold in them because they have to be produced in India by hopefully Indian companies. So as far as the budget is concerned, the expectations are very bullish. We are very, very hopeful. And I would say, I would even stretch to saying that we are confident that the focus on infrastructure will continue. Having said that, we must understand on the railway side of the budget, the budget can actually be divided into two parts, the capacity creation budget and the capacity utilization budget, while both are Capex. So when the track is constructed, that takes away bulk of the money. And that is not something that happens year after year. But the procurement of the rolling stock, things that we do, is something that will continue for the life cycle of the track, which may be 100 years or maybe more than 100 years. So what is important is not only the quantum of the budget, but the inter-se allocation of the budget. And while the inter-se allocation of the budget in our segment might be smaller compared to the overall budget, it is definitely something which is going to be a longer one or a long-lasting one.
Just a follow-up to that, and talking about the life cycle of some of these projects, therefore, on the rolling stock, right? So, Mr. Chowdhary, heading into the next couple of financial years, or even the next 2 or 3 financial years, would you say that there's a sizable chunk that you might get from replacement orders, and how do you look at that as an opportunity?
See, the Indian Railways on a thumb rule basis, on a back of the envelope basis, has about 3.5-4 lakh wagons. And I'm talking about our freight business right now. And the average wagon size age is about 25 to 30 years. So then, therefore, every year there will have to be replacements. And the replacements have been actually much more back-ended in the sense that we've not had many replacements in the last few years because the wagons were added in the last earlier part of this life cycle, apart from the last 2-3 years that the railways have really pumped up the wagon induction. So we do believe that there will be replacement demand that will be there in the wagons, but also we believe that there will be the growth demand because you see India is well on its way to become third largest economy in the world. Or a $5 trillion economy. And in order to be competitive, in order to do that, we have to be competitive. And in order to be competitive, we have to move the logistic cost as a percentage of the GDP lower. So, all of this put together effectively says that the target that the railways have set for themselves of carrying 3 billion tons of traffic by 2030 is a must-have for the country. And in order to do that, they will require a lot of more wagons. So, there may be a few months of delay or here and there as far as the procurement is concerned. But the underlying solidness of this demand or of this market remains intact.
Umesh, hi, good morning, Neeraj here. And I'm wishing you good morning with an empty glass, by the way. But just a point, since we have warm borders right now, and if the incremental part of the Capex allocation goes towards defense, could it mean that it could be a budget that could not have large allocations for other capex requirements, including railways? Is that a distinct possibility?
I don't see, Dheeraj, that as a possibility, distinct possibility. I believe that the overall capex is going to be sizable. In fact, I hope that the capex allocation to the railways will be even higher than what we've seen in the last years, which in itself, the base is so much higher. If you really compare it over the last 10 years or 15 years, we've seen a dramatic shift in the way the capex allocation for the railways has been. So I believe that there exists all underlying reasons for the capex allocation to be larger. But I would also like to add a few things which we are hoping, which we hope that we will see in the budget. We hope that there will be more dedicated freight corridors. We hope there will be more high-speed corridors, because these are very long-term projects, but they will really build the foundation for the India of the future. So to answer it in one word, I don't think that there should be any cut on the capex.
Right. Umesh, thanks so much for taking the time. Pleasure speaking with you as always. And I hope that your expectations actually come to pass when the finance minister presents the budget. Fingers crossed. All right. Well,